Do you have a car fund? You need one. How much should you be putting into it? I've got that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Cars break down. They need repairs. They need replaced, and that stuff is not getting any cheaper these days. And so financially, are you preparing for it? Or is it going to catch you by surprise and throw your financial situation into a tailspin? Now, this is something that will impact you regardless of what stage of life you're in, even in retirement, but certainly early on in your career. And so if you're listening to this saying, well, I sort of don't have an issue with this, but maybe my kids do or whatever, make sure you absorb the content, pass along to your kids as well, because getting this set up and handling it the right way can have can start that upward spiral in your financial life. Not handling it the right way can be a catalyst for that downward spiral as well. So before we get into it, let me just give you the high level, a brief overview of our 3 bank account system, because the solution to the car fund and where it fits is embedded into that 3 bank account system. And so this is a cash flow, a present financial position operating system, is having 3 different bank accounts really for 3 different purposes. Now, it doesn't need to be exactly 3 bank accounts. I actually have a lot more than that, but I told you I'm a geek. So your first bank account is your checking account. So that checking account, you have awareness, whether that's a budget or just an overall general feel. I recommend a budget, but here's how much money is coming in every single month. And here are all of our known monthly expenses. And you break those down into your savings typically, and that should be a fixed amount. Your fixed expenses, mortgage, car loan or car insurance, the expenses that are going to show up every single month, the exact amount. And then the variable monthly expenses. And these are going to be, they're going to come up every single month, but I don't know exactly what they'll be. So this is grocery store or shopping or going out to eat or fuel, gassing up the vehicle, those sorts of things. You're gonna go to the grocery store every month, and you've got to have a target for how much you're going to spend, but it could deviate, a little bit here or there. So that's your immediate spending. I won't belabor it anymore. This middle account is delayed spending, and this is where, what are all your non-monthly expenses? What are those and how much? And then what's your strategy for saving up the cash so that when that non-monthly expense shows up, it doesn't fit in your monthly budget, you've got the money set aside already to take care of it. So examples of this would be vacation or holidays, gifts, those sorts of things. Insurance premiums, if you pay those once a year. Taxes, if you pay estimates or taxes once a year. I just had mine for life insurance, right? So expenses that are coming up, but they don't happen every single month. Your car fund is an example of a delayed spending account. And this is why I have more than 3 accounts, because I actually have a separate account that I call my car fund. It's nicknamed the car fund. Now, before I come back to that, the 3rd bank account then is your emergency fund. I call it a financial confidence account. This is a money market account where you figured out, here, what's my goal? How much should I have in there? Dave Ramsey says 3 to 6 months of your bucket number 1 of your spending. But you then need to tailor that for your situation. Ideally, you fill that emergency fund up and you never have an emergency, ideally. And that money there is available so that you have the confidence to go aggressively at those long-term financial goals. I can save up confidently into my 401k or very aggressively for college for the kids, because I know if something happens, I've got this emergency fund I can fall back on. I don't need to worry about, am I going to need to invade my 401k for a loan or withdraw this money from the college account? Those sorts of things. So a known expense that doesn't happen monthly, that is a car fund. That is your vehicle. And so how do you approach it and how much should you be saving? So to me, I would open a savings account. I like a money market account, an online savings account. It's going to pay you better interest. It's still FDIC insured, fully liquid as well. And then I have the ability to nickname it as well. So that's where I have my car fund. And there's a few different approaches that I would encourage you to take. Number one, vehicles do break down. You just don't, it's not going to break down every single month. It might not even break down every year. So, but you know that there's going to be some maintenance and some repair costs that you'll need for your vehicle if you're operating in a reality where no, that's not going to happen. That's not reality. So get prepared financially. I don't know how much you should set aside. It depends on your vehicle. It depends maybe on the area that you live. I don't know. We've often said $100 a month. Now again, you're not going to have repairs or maintenance on your vehicle every single month. So therefore, you're not going to spend $100 a month. I know, but over every once a year or every couple of years, how much will that maintenance and cost be? I don't know. But $100 a month, $1,200 for the year, $2,400 every 2 years. Yeah, I can see that's going to make some sense. The one that I often pick on, an example for sort of an advocate for that 3 bank account system, is needing tires on the vehicle. That always seems like it catches me by surprise. Maybe not you, it catches me by surprise. And then, whether it's $700 or $1,000 or whatever, it never fits nicely into your budget. And so the temptation is to, rob Peter to pay Paul, or to pull money out of that emergency fund. But listen, needing tires really isn't an emergency. You could have anticipated it. I would be saving up. I don't know if it's $100 a month or maybe it's $125. I've considered moving it to $125 with inflation and all that sort of stuff, but somewhere around there, and apply your own logic to it. But that's how much you should be saving into your car fund for repairs. I personally have my car repair and car replacement fund in the exact same account. Why? It seemed too complicated to separate it and have 2 accounts, one for car repairs, one for car replacement. So I have a car fund that I use for both repairs and maintenance and future replacement. So if I earmark or build into my budget that 3 bank account system, that delayed spending piece, where $100 or $125 a month is going into that car fund for repairs, well then how much should go in for future replacement? So there's 2 ways to think about this. And one is wanting to pay cash for a vehicle. I have talked to so many people about this, and so many say, I would love to, it's not possible. I would love to, I'll never be able to. And we build a plan, and they are. It just takes commitment. Guys, I was in that spot. When I was young and just starting my career here, I knew I didn't want a car loan and thought there's no way. How am I going to be able to save up enough to buy a vehicle? But it's possible. It's possible. So this is sort of simple math. It's not easy. It's not simple meaning it's easy. It's simple math though. So take, for example, that you need to buy a car or expect to buy a car. Oh, I'm going to need to buy a car in about 5 years. Okay. And you think, well, I don't know, with inflation and whatnot, I don't know, maybe it'll cost me $35,000. How much do you think you'll be able to trade your existing car in or sell your car for out there in the future? Probably around $5,000. Well, there you go. Doing that math, you need to save up $30,000 over the next 5 years. Yeah, it's about $6,000 a year. That's about $500 a month. And that you might hear that and say, I can't save $500 a month into my car fund. Well, don't forget, add that $100 or $125 on top of that for maintenance. And so you might say that's not possible. But suppose that it is. Save that money aside automatically into that delayed spending account, your car fund. As you have maintenance or issues come up on your existing vehicle, you've been saving ahead for that as well. And then will you need a car exactly in 5 years? Probably not. Will you need a car that's exactly $35,000? Probably not. Will you be able to trade your car in exactly for $5,000 or sell it for $5,000? Probably not. But you're going to be close. You're going to have some options. And as it gets closer, whether your car breaks down or whether it lasts a little bit longer or prices, the division for the next car that you want to buy increases or that cost is higher, you've got a framework, you're close, and you can then plan from there. Now, if you look at that and say $500 a month, plus $100 for maintenance or $125 for maintenance, it's not possible. It's not feasible. Or if you're thinking of this for your kids, no, that's rent. That's close to rent for them. They can't afford that. Well, maybe they shouldn't be buying a $35,000 vehicle, so maybe they need to bring that down a little bit. Maybe and hopefully there's more than 5 years to save up for it as well. Those inputs change things as well. But maybe, and this is sort of the second scenario, the second path for the car replacement approach, and I'm just not going to get there. There's just no way to do the math right now. Maybe you got a car loan right now, or there's just no way to do the math where I'm going to be able to pay cash for my vehicle right now. Listen, most people don't get it done in one try. They end up working a plan similar to what I'm about to share with you, and they buy their next vehicle with a smaller loan, then get that paid off, and then they're able to continue that same disciplined approach and pay cash for the next one or two down the line. So work the plan, have confidence. But here's the other idea. There's no way I'm going to be able to save up. Okay, well then what's the loan going to be? Think 3 years down the road or 2 years down the road or whenever you're going to need that vehicle. Make some assumptions or work with the CFP to say, yeah, it's probably, new vehicle's probably going to cost me 35 grand at X interest rate. I'll be able to put a little bit down, and therefore my monthly payment's going to be about X. All right, build that into your budget right now and start saving that amount. Say your car payment's going to be $440 a month. All right, start putting that into your budget right now, $440, and saving it into that car fund. And then in 2 years or whatever, when you say, yep, I need to replace the vehicle, you've been able to save that much up and you've got that amount as a down payment. But then you've already got then that budget earmarked for your car loan. And oftentimes what I've seen with this is then the car loan ends up being smaller than what you were setting aside. So there's a little bit of cushion. You can pay that car loan off quicker. I've also seen people say, yeah, I see the sacrifice here of how much it's costing me to save up this much cash. Maybe we don't need that $35,000 vehicle. Maybe we can find one that's $30,000, or maybe I don't need one in 2 years. I can get closer to 3 years. And you find a way, by putting that discipline in place, you find a way to improve your inputs on that formula anyway. So that'd be a way to just accept, yeah, I'm not going to be able to pay cash for this vehicle, or maybe that was never your intention in the first place. Figuring out how much will that loan payment, that car loan payment be, building that into your budget even before you have the loan, so you can build up that savings, and then when you do have the loan, it already fits nicely into your budget. Work with your certified financial planner on all of that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.